Welcome once again to GES Digital Intervention Program for Senior High Schools. This is Mathematics Lesson 2 on Algebra. And again today, we shall be expanding and simplifying algebraic expressions. I am your facilitator, Nala Dabu. As we did in our first lesson, we need to warm up our brains a little. I want you to evaluate 43 times 37 as quickly as possible within 10 seconds. Yes, I know you have used different methods to arrive at your answer, and I also know you beat the time. One way of doing it is by expressing 43 as the sum of 40 and 3. Remember, in our first lesson, the 4 is the tens and the 3 is the units. 37 can equally be written as 30 plus 7. I can now multiply 43 times 37 using a table as shown on your screen. Here I multiply 40 times 30. That will give me 1200. 40 times 7 gives me 280. 3 times 30 gives 90. And finally, 3 times 7 is 21. Keywords we'll meet along the way are binomial, polynomial, and distributive property. And again, these are words you have met before. In our lesson outline, the first session will deal with simplifying algebraic expressions, and the second session have to do with expanding and simplifying binomials and polynomials. Let's get started. Simplifying algebraic expressions. There are some few things you need to take note when you are simplifying algebraic expressions. The first is that now simplifying the x's, we have 3x minus 2x plus 4x giving us 5x. Now simplifying, we have 3x minus 2x plus 4x giving us 5x. And 4y plus 5y gives us 9y. It's easy, isn't that so? Let's take yet another example. 7a squared minus 4ab minus 4ab plus 8a squared plus 15ab minus 3a squared plus ab. Now here again you see like terms. 7a squared, 8a squared, and negative 3a squared are like terms. So we group them. Negative 4ab, the next negative 4ab, 15ab, and ab are also like terms. So we group them. Now simplify each bracket. We have 12a squared plus 8ab. When expanding algebraic expressions, there are some few things you need to take note of. Ensure you obey the multiplication principles. And remember, these principles also apply to division. A positive number times a positive number should always give us a positive number. A positive number times a negative number always gives us a negative number. A negative number times a positive number gives a negative number. And finally, a negative number times a negative number will always give you a positive number. Now, the next thing you have to consider, apply the distributive property to remove any brackets. And then you group like terms. Let's take some example. Expand and simplify 4x times 3x minus 2 with 3x minus 2 in the brackets, minus 6x times 5y minus 3x with 5y minus 3x in the brackets. Now, to expand this, we use the distributive property. So I multiply 4x times 3x. That will give me 12x squared. Then 4x times negative 2y will give us negative 8xy. Then I take negative 6x to expand the next bracket. And negative 6x times 5y is negative 30xy. Negative 6x times negative 3x gives 18x squared. Here again, we work with like terms. So 12x squared plus 18x squared gives 30x squared. Negative 8xy minus 30xy gives negative 38xy. And we are done. Let's take yet another one. Now, one that is a little complex with a number of brackets. And remember, when you want to expand, you always start the expansion from the innermost brackets and you come out gradually until all the brackets are eliminated. So we have 5b minus open brackets 2a minus 3 open under bracket 7a plus 5 with yet another bracket 8a minus b as shown on your screen. Here we start with the most inner bracket, that is 5 times 8a minus b. We'll expand that first. So now I have 5b minus open brackets 2a minus 3 open brackets. Now 5 times 8a gives 40a, and 5 times negative b gives negative 5b. So the brackets there will now have 7a plus 40a minus 3b. There are two ways of going about this. You can simplify the inner bracket before you expand again. You can also continue your expansion. And that's exactly what I did. Expanding negative 3 open bracket 7a plus 40a minus 5b, I'll get negative 21a minus 120a plus 15b. Now yet again, you can simplify that bracket. You can also decide to keep expanding. And I kept expanding. Now I have 5b minus 2a plus 21a plus 120a minus 15b. And here I will now group my like terms. All the a's together and all the b's together. That gives me 5b minus 15b plus negative 2a plus 21a plus 120a. Simplifying the brackets, I'll get negative 10b plus 139a. And it's always good in mathematics to start with positive numbers. So I can write this one as 139a minus 10b. Let's expand some binomials and polynomials. A binomial is any expression that has exactly two terms, while the polynomial is any expression with more than two terms. To expand binomials and polynomials, you have to ensure that each term in the first bracket multiplies each of the other terms in the second bracket. Now let's look at these examples. Expand and simplify the following. 1. 3m minus 5 times 7m plus 3. Here 3m minus 5 is in a bracket, 7m plus 3 is in a bracket. So these are two binomials. 2. X plus y times 4x minus 2y plus 4. With x plus y in the brackets, 4x minus 2y plus 4 in another bracket. Here you are multiplying a binomial and a trinomial. 3. 10 minus 5n all squared. Let's see how we expand and simplify this. Let's do the first one. Just as we did for 43 times 37, I have broken my 3m minus 5, 7m plus 3 into a tabular form as shown on your screen. So here it becomes so easy for me. I just multiply 3m times 7m. That will give me 21m squared. And 3m times 3 gives 9, and 3m times 3 gives 9m. Then I also multiply negative 5 times 7m. That will give me negative 35m. And finally, negative 5 times 3, and that will give negative 15. So multiplying 7m plus 3 and 3m minus 5 is the sum of all the terms in the boxes. And that gives me 21m squared plus 9m minus 35m minus 15. And simplifying by working with like terms, I have 21m squared minus 26m minus 15. Did you get that? Let's take the alternative solution. You could also decide to use the distributive property straight away. So here, 3m minus 5m times 7m plus 3 could be written as 3m multiplying the second bracket as we have seen, and negative 5 also multiplying the same brackets. So this gives 3m times 7m plus 3 and negative 5 times 7m plus 3. Now expanding, 3m times 7m gives 21m squared. 3m times 3 gives 9m. Negative 5 times 7m is negative 35m. And finally, negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. When you simplify, you get 21m squared minus 26m minus 15. For the second question, it was x plus y times 4x minus 2y plus 4. And I can also put it in a tabular form as shown on your screen. Here, I now multiply x times 4x, and that will give me 4x squared. X times negative 2y gives negative 2xy. X times 4 gives 4x. And I'm done with the x. Then I take the y. Y times 4x is 4xy. Y times negative 2y gives negative 2y squared. And finally, y times 4 gives 4y. So, the product of x plus y and 4x minus 2y plus 4 is the sum of all the terms in the boxes. And this gives 4x squared minus 2xy plus 4x plus 4xy minus 2y squared plus 4y. And grouping like terms and simplifying finally gives 4x squared plus 4x plus 2xy minus 2y squared plus 4y. Alternatively, we could apply the distributive property as we saw in the first question. So here we take x and multiply by 4x minus 2y plus 4y. Then also take y and multiply it by 4x minus 2y plus 4. So when I expand, I'll get 4x squared minus 2xy plus 4x plus 4xy minus 2y squared plus 4y. And when you simplify, you arrive at the same answer. 4x squared plus 4x plus 2xy minus 2y squared plus 4y. Isn't that interesting? Now, we can do this third one without going through the table, just applying the distributive property. So 10 minus 5n all squared can be written as 10 minus 5 times another 10 minus 5. And here, I take 10 to multiply the second bracket. I also take negative 5n to multiply the second bracket. That will give me 100 minus 50n minus 50n plus 25n squared. Finally, I'll get 100 minus 100n plus 25n squared. This solution is actually leading us to discovering something very special that will help us to expand binomials and polynomials easily. Now let's see, what is it? If I want to expand a plus b all squared, this is how I'm going to do it. A is the first term of the binomial and b is the second term of the binomial. So here, I just take the first term and I'll square it. I'll also take the second term and square it. Then finally, I'll multiply 2 by the first term times the second term. If you look at what we did in our third example, it is the same. So what do I get? I have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Similarly, I can do that for a trinomial. So if I have a plus b plus c all squared, all I do is take the first term, square it. That will give me a squared. The second term is b. I square it. That also gives me b squared. The third term is c. C squared is c squared. I'll now take 2 times the first 2 terms. So 2 times a times b is 2ab. And 2 times a times c is 2ac. And finally, 2 times b times c gives me 2bc. This is a very simple way of expanding squares of any numbers, whether binomials, whether trinomials, whether other polynomials. We are going to see how we apply this in solving questions. Let's take some example. If you are asked to expand 3 minus 4x all squared, or 3y minus 4x minus 7 all squared. For the first one, 3 minus 4x all squared, our first term is 3 and the second term is negative 4x. I take the first term and I square it. That will give me 3 squared. Then 2 times the first term times the second term is 2 times 3 times negative 4x. Then finally, I take the second term, then I square it. Negative 4x all squared. Now simplifying this, I'll get 9 minus 24x plus 16x squared. Easy. And for the trinomial, I follow the same principle. The first term is 3y, I'll square it. That gives 9y squared. The second term is negative 4x. When I square that, I get 16x squared. The third term is negative 7. Negative 7 squared is 49. Now, I'll take 2 times the first 2 terms. That is 2 times 3y times negative 4x. And that gives negative 24xy. Then 2 times the first and the last terms. So 2 times 3y times negative 7 also gives negative 42y. Then finally, I'll take 2 times negative 4x times negative 7. And I'll get 56x. I know you can do this with any binomials or polynomials given to you. And so, I have to give you some homework. Expand and simplify the following. 1. 5x minus 3 all squared. 2. 8 plus x minus 2b all squared. And finally, negative 2x minus 7 all squared. I know you've learned a lot today too. You've learned how to expand and simplify algebraic expressions. And you have also learned how to expand and simplify binomials and trinomials. You can extend it to polynomials with more than 3 terms. So I'll see you again in our next lesson.